Well, we're glad to welcome you back to the Lair. We're glad you can join us. This is where we talk all things Wildcat football.
All things.
And I'm joined by my friend and partner, Luke Davis. I'm LB Graham. We're your hosts for the Lair. And we're here celebrating a second straight victory by our Wildcats.
2-0.
2-0.
It's a good feeling.
Resounding victory against St. Dominic's. It was another game that kind of got out of hand early.
Yes.
Went up to a 42-0 lead in the first half and didn't look back.
Carbon copy pretty much of the fastest game in terms of getting out to the big lead and then coasting afterwards.
So why don't we go ahead and break it down a little bit. What did you see in terms of the offensive side of the ball?
Big holes, LB, opened up by our mammoth offensive line. You had holes that you could run an elephant through sideways. Steve Webb had that big one, 55 yards, well after the game was decided.
Yeah.
However, we had some great breaks and very good runs by Webb. He had 3 touchdowns during the game. One off that option, his third one on that spinneroonie move in the north end zone. Cameron Tucker broke off a great one. So rushing wise, we were doing very well. I think our total.
And even Evan, right? Even the quarterback.
Evan getting a touchdown run. Everybody making positive yardage. I think 6 or 7 people had at least one carry. Total of about 200 some yards, and that was just very impressive. Passing wise, Evan was in the neighborhood of 7 out of 11 on passing, so that's good to see. Lots of accuracy there, spreading the wealth. His 7 passes caught by 5 different receivers. Again, a great deal of strength to see that we can go to any player out there.
Not a one-trick pony. The offense had a lot of things that did well.
Not at all.
And on the defensive side of the ball, what did you see there?
Very good pursuit. I think along with the pursuit, because you like to see tackles for losses, but we also saw a lot of good disciplined play. The defensive line going, making the initial hit, controlling the line of scrimmage, and then pursuing. There were a few times that Connor Fitzgerald got outside and we lost contain, but those were few and far between. It was well after the game was decided.
And there didn't seem to be any big plays. They were bottled up, and their big gains are 8 yards, 10 yards.
Their big gains against our first team defense were exactly that. They had about a 25-yard run with Jacob Larson, but that was against our second or third team defense.
So all in all, we saw pretty strong performance from our offense and defense, and it just was a game that was never really in doubt.
Never really in doubt. You always worry about what that's going to be like, and you want your team to be facing those challenges for the playoffs and even regular season games that are looming ahead as we face Metro League play starting this week. But it was also great to get our second and third teamers in there. It was a great chance to give them experience because you never know if someone goes down. We had a couple of guys go down hobbled, and we have to have other people, personnel come in at a moment's notice.
And like you said, you're going to be tested. In fact, we're pretty sure this week will provide a big step in that direction.
Yes.
And we will come back and talk about that in our next episode when we preview the Luther North game, which has been moved to 10 a.m. On Saturday. So if you're hoping to come out and see that game, do make a note that game will start at 10 a.m.
All right.
Looking forward to seeing you for our next episode where we will preview Luther North. Thanks for joining us in the Lair.